Welcome back to CBS News 24/7. I'm Reed Cowan. So President-elect Donald Trump shaping up the list of leaders joining him for a second term in the White House. He announced former ICE acting director Tom Homan will take over border control. But listen to this. Homan had this to say to 60 Minutes just days before Donald Trump won the election.
I hear a lot of people say, the talk of a mass deportation is racist. It's threatening to the immigrant community. It's not threatening to the immigrant community. It should be threatening to the illegal immigrant community. But on the heels of a historic illegal immigration crisis, that has to be done.
What would the largest deportation in American history look like to you?
Well, let me tell you what's not going to be first. It's not going to be a mass sweep of neighborhoods. It's not going to be building concentration camps. I've read it all. It's ridiculous.
But if mass deportation is not going to be, as you said, massive sweeps and concentration camps, what is it?
There'll be targeted arrest.
He was also asked by our reporter there, what about separating families? He said families can be deported together. So let's bring in Bart Jansen right now on the stream for more on this. He's the Justice Department reporter for USA Today. What more do we know about his history on these immigration policies?
Well, he was a bit of a lightning rod during Trump's first administration when he was head of ICE. He was there at the time when they had a zero tolerance policy so that even those people applying for asylum were turned away. And that's what led to that, what was called a family separation policy, because what in effect happened was if the parents were detained separately from the children, then families got separated and something like 5,000 or more children were separated from their parents. So he has been unafraid to conduct the strictest enforcement of immigration laws, and that's what we're expecting in this second term.
So a hardliner by many estimates. Stephen Miller also going to be a part of the Trump administration. He's also a hardliner on immigration issues. What say you about what he could do and what he could bring to realizing Donald Trump's promise to voters relative to immigration policy?
Well, Miller has been the architect and one of the most vocal advocates of what they've been calling mass deportations. There are an estimated 11 million immigrants who lack legal permission to be in the United States, and they have said they could target all of them. In more refined statements, Trump and his allies have said, first, they will target criminal aliens, and so deport them, get rid of them the fastest. But what's unclear to immigration advocates is that anyone who asks for asylum typically gets court hearings. Those hearings are backed up for years.
Right.
And so if they get rid of the hearing process, then that would perhaps move things more swiftly.
Bart Jansen, Justice Department reporter with USA Today. Thank you so much for speaking with us. I have a feeling.
Yeah, well, it seems like if a person just says, hey, I want an asylum status, and then you go into the courts and it's delayed for years. I think that was what part of what Trump was doing last time, because it seems like kind of stupid to allow somebody to just say, hey, I want asylum status. And you have to have hearings, find out what part of what country they're coming from. And are they really here for asylum, or do they just want a better life or a different life or a change of life or whatever you want to call it? I think Trump had a really good thing when he was saying, sure, but you got to wait over there. And then Biden and them changed that where they let them wait. I don't know why it would be beneficial to America, and I mean Americans when I'm not talking about the businesses in America. If some of them have such low wages and harsh conditions that they can't get Americans to work for decent wages, then they deserve to go out of business. They deserve to fold up. Nobody needs to work for the wages they're getting away with paying the immigrants who are coming over because they're illegal immigrants. But then once they even get their legal status, there's a lot of opportunity in this country to do a lot of different things as far as going to school and doing things. And a lot of states offer that even to the illegal immigrants. But I just see so many legal people here with citizenship, the birth in the country and not being college educated. And then the immigrants come over and they're so hungry and taking advantage of the infrastructure that we have in our education system, even though we might scoff at it and laugh at it and not utilize it. It's just something that I just can't understand why so many of us are just walking around in the days, unemployed, underemployed, and then the country just gives up on that particular segment of the population for whatever reason, and is ready to just push them to the side. I just don't think it's going to work out too good with this new Trump team coming in. It's exciting to watch. It's different. It's fucking movement. It's activity. It's something. It seemed like Biden was just like there. You know, mentally sharp, obviously, according to everyone who was around him. But something was just not right with that administration, or this current administration. And I know that Trump's supposed to be going to the White House, I think, on Wednesday to meet with Biden, you know, and it's Biden's billing this as a, you know, part of the peaceful transfer of power or whatever. He trying to tell Trump some shit, probably about Israel or some shit. Hey, man, I'd really appreciate it. And, you know, whatever he say, if he's even capable of being charismatic enough to try to even persuade someone to do something, I really believe Biden's in a real bad way. And we'll find out after he leaves office. And he doesn't have the handlers that he has, and he tried to get up there and speak. We'll see it for ourselves. Like they all should have let us know. But gosh, you guys, it look like Trump is lining up some hardliners, as we say, in comparison to these weenies that the Democrats have. Anybody look like a hardliner? Maybe the guy ain't a hardliner. Maybe he's a fucking man. Maybe just stand on his fucking word and say some shit and mean that shit. And some people's feelings are going to get hurt. It's a fucking big ass country. And then you add all these illegal immigrants and you give them the rights that you give the citizens. It's going to be a problem. And maybe we just need straight shooters and people who just don't give a fuck and say what they got to say and kick motherfuckers out who don't belong over here. It's just how it got to be. Fuck it. But take care of the people who live here. But we ain't even take care of the people yet who ain't belonging here. And to take care of them is to get them back where they belong. And then we can move forward. And then black people can start standing up and speaking. We can hopefully get rid of that Congressional Black Caucus and get some movement in this government, even if it means disengaging from it. Because this is some bullshit that's going on with the black population in America. And it's time for us to get this shit taken care of before it ain't no opportunity. All right? The Trump is trying to help us. Shit. We're getting outvoted like a motherfucker. Half of Latino women vote here, half Latino men vote, and they still significant voting blocks. And look at us. We vote on point, locked in, high percentage, the best. And you didn't hear Kamala at one point in her speech single out black men when she was giving that concession. Man, she got me off topic. Sorry about that, but just not a thank you. Back to Trump. Yeah, he lining it up with some folks who ain't with the bullshit. And I think we're going to appreciate it. See, it's not us black people who have a problem with this shit. And we don't even get it. We used to rules. We used to laws. We used to hard motherfuckers look watching everything we do. From the littlest trip down to the corner market up to buying a house. We see all the bullshit that go on in the world as far as we go. And now they see somebody else being treated that way legitimately, who is not a citizen of the country, and everybody's whining and crying like little babies. Man, you guys gotta get with the facts of how laws and countries work. And introducing illegal immigrants into this country lowers the quality of life for others who are already here. No matter what those politicians, don't lower their quality of life. Unless they get voted out of office, the quality of life they looking for is power. And we can't be used and slapped around like that no more. Man, this is going to be exciting, you guys, and stay engaged. And if you're one of those people who got locked in because Kamala Harris was running and she looked like you and you was all excited, well, it's a real good thing that it went this way, because hopefully this will keep you engaged, because there's going to be a whole lot of shit coming out of the White House that you need to be paying attention to. And if Kamala went in there, you probably just get your big old comforter and your pillow and go lay on the couch and watch reality TV and shit. So yeah, it's best that we get somebody in there and probably piss you off enough to want to learn something. It's such a terrible thing when you have been raised with a such a piss poor education. And when somebody gives you an opportunity to go to college, or somebody gives you an opportunity to learn something new, you're kind of turned off, because that isn't the way you were raised. You weren't raised being hungry for knowledge and being hungry for education. So whenever it's offered, you're running toward it instead of going like, I'm good where I'm at. No, you're not. Always learn more, especially about this government, especially if you're going to be voting and complaining, and especially if our votes look the way they do. Why did this small percentage of black men slither off? What did they know that 75% didn't know? Or what did that 75% know that the ones that slithered off didn't know? What is going on here with black people and their knowledge of politics? And it goes beyond knowledge, because there's no doubt these people who work on MSNBC and CNN aren't educated as far as politics go. They know exactly what they're talking about. But what in politics makes black people sell their souls, sell their own people, sell any chance of progress within their own race? What makes black people do that? I never understand it. I ain't got nothing to do with no goddamn education. That just got to do with being down for your race. But I know that that's one of those things that we're still healing and trying to, how do you, when you were not even what you are now when you came here. When we came here, we were really Africans, and through the breeding, we're not even what we were when we came here. So we were fractured from the start. And so it's like we're not repairing anything. We're just trying to get ourselves in the best way we can possibly be, and I just want to see what that's going to look like. Wow. But this I'm excited. Shit, I want to see how far Trump can go. And when they start whining and crying and can't go to the Supreme Court, because he fixed that the last time he's in office. Why don't the Democrats govern like that? Why don't they set themselves up for future elections and for future things so that they have the advantage at some point? They're too busy trying to take as much money out of the government and pour it out the window to underprivileged and poor people so they'll like them and vote for them. And then they're really doing something else over here on this side. You're fooling the poor people into dependency, and then you're setting them up to work for the corporations for pennies. It's just fucked up. It just is. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.